Chat, here we go. We got Mawkzy and oKhaliD in the second round of the EU Fall 5K Swiss. Both these guys handling their first round matchup with, I wouldn't say relative ease. oKhaliD versus Hamo did lose a game. I think oKhaliD went 2-1 against him, but ultimately finished it out. And now he's got Mawkzy, who went 2-0 against Dark. One of these two move on to the 2-0 round, and they have both looked like the best 1v1ers in the game at times. Mawkzy maybe a bit more recently, but oKhaliD, nobody ever doubts oKhaliD. It would be silly to give up on a player who has played so well for so long. Mawkzy gonna get it first. If you want to watch in French, we actually have Falca TV following Mawkzy's whole run through the Swiss. If you want to watch in Arabic, we actually have Nawis covering oKhaliD's run. So we have 3 different languages here for this match. We got Arabic, French, and English here at the main channel. But this, I believe, was the most exciting matchup in the second round. And both these guys are capable of winning this tournament. oKhaliD has always been a great tournament 1v1er. Mawkzy gonna get a second goal, though. The irritable bump does not connect. And Mawkzy a couple camera checks just to make sure he for sure has nobody around him. This should be best of 5. All Swiss is going to be best of 3. And these guys will get their opportunities, assuming they play well, to, you know, play in a best of 5 or even best of 7, depending on where they would meet in the quarters or semis and finals. oKhaliD yet to be on the board. Mawkzy has a rolling dribble, though. Sometimes it can be hard to collect, and oKhaliD's not the guy to let you do that for free. So he makes sure to shadow and put the worry in Mawkzy's head that he is right there if he chips the ball up for even a second. Mawkzy just gonna launch this towards net. The NA semis and finals yesterday were so hyped. Yeah, I think so too. I think it went well yesterday, and hopefully it goes again well for all of the EU. The Swiss, I started, you know, a bit shaky because we had a couple people who had to drop, but I think we got all 16 people here and started without a hitch. I was having a conversation with somebody from Reddit about Swiss and whether or not it makes sense in 1v1. And their argument against it was that the top 8 from North America made it, you know, regardless of the fact that there was a Swiss and there was tons of opportunity to potentially drop. But we'll see how that goes today. In the EU beginning, all of the top 8 seeds won their first round, which I don't even think was the case last time around. Last time around, the top 8 dropped it at least a little bit and then had to work their way back. This time, all the top 8 are playing each other here in this upper round. And Mawkzy versus oKhaliD is certainly the juiciest one. You can use the same argument to support Swiss as well. To be fair, it did find the correct top 8, but I think the person's point was that, you know, why even run the Swiss when you know already, obviously, who the top 8 should be. And when we ran the Swiss in the swamp, I noticed that the top 6 made it, so not the entire top 8. In both the EU and North American swamp, only the top 6 of 8 made it. So we'll see. If we get 2 back-to-back full top 8s, first off, I should be at least slightly commended for my seeding, I would argue. But secondly, you know, maybe it's time to experiment with some more formats. But I really like the Swiss. My favorite part about the Swiss, which we actually didn't really get to do too much here in this round, or sorry, in the EU, is getting everybody involved. Which we did. I think I did that really well for North America. I got everybody a stream, and I felt like, you know, the whole community came together to watch the Swiss, which was very exciting. This time around, because this one's the middle of the week, I maybe could have gotten more streamers had I been able to focus on it for longer. But we have a little bit less of the community watching here today. But I still think it's a fun time to get everybody involved. I like giving, you know, people some fun streams, because I do think people get some pretty good streams out of following the Swiss. You know, it's not even just that they're doing me a favor, which I actually do believe they are, but I think it might be mutually beneficial. I think they might get some pretty good content from them themselves. So it just seems like everybody wins here in the community when we run a Swiss. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do it again. Mawkzy right now up 4-1 with 1:30 and a nice outplay. As he flicks past oKhaliD, not focusing on the net, but focusing on what's important, which is oKhaliD not connecting with the ball. Joreuz down 0-1 to Clears. Yeah, Clears going to make another run. Clears is going to make me make a mistake. So Clears was my number 9 seed in terms of who was going to pick in the top 8. Because Clears actually got top 4 last time around. He beat TRK in the... Well, first off, he played late. He came in because oKhaliD had the sub out last second in the EU swamp. And then he totally crushed it. Got into the top 8 and then beat TRK to get top 4. The problem is that since then, you know, it's been a good while, and Clears hasn't like shown he's top 4 in EU in that time. So I had to unfortunately slot him in at number 9. But I tell you what, he is absolutely capable of popping out. And by the way, you might be saying, but you said top 8 all won, Feer. And then you're saying he was top 9. Well, that's because Razier's was a seed ahead of him before Razier's dropped out. So Razier's dropping out moved Clears up to top 8. So now he's making me look smart by winning as a top 8 player. Clears, I'm about to end this whole man's seeding career. Yeah, it's tough. Joreuz is also, you know, until elimination games, you never know. Because Joreuz lost his first round in pro drops, and then he turned around and just dominated. Won the whole event. So Joreuz needs to know that he can no longer lose, apparently, to unlock the true beast inside. But Mawkzy is going to win this game. I can't remember if Mawkzy beat oKhaliD last time they played. I think they have played recently. And Mawkzy, I believe, got the win. That was on Johnny's stream, though. That's maybe why I don't remember it as well. We're going to head to game number 2 and a best of 3 from Mawkzy and oKhaliD. Remember, YouTube, every subscription for the next month adds $1 to the prize pool at the end of the year. So please subscribe. There's so many people in this lobby, so it delays a really long time. It's like, you guys sure you're not joining? No, just them two. Mawkzy and oKhaliD, game number 2. Atao would have been great to have in this tournament. Yeah, I agree. So Atao, I don't know if is top 8 when you include the Middle East players. You know, so I only invited the top 8, and then I actually just did almost no additional asking. I just left it to Twitter for people to suggest that they wanted to play, or come to me to say they wanted to play in order to get into the qualifier. Sometimes I'll go around and I'll be like, you know, I'll go through the 9 through 12 and be like, hey man, I wished I could have invited you, but could you please play the qualifier? I didn't do that this time around. So Atao didn't seem interested enough to say he wanted to play the qualifier. I did not reach out to him, so oKhaliD's about to turn his monitor on. Mawkzy beat oKhaliD last time. Okay. All right, that's what I thought. Mawkzy right now up 2-0. Mawkzy was, you know, after the swamp win didn't have Joreuz, so it kind of almost puts an asterisk, especially now that Joreuz won the tournament that he played again. I mean, I don't know. I have to go back and think of all the different tournaments that have been played. But it seems like if Joreuz plays, he wins, which is crazy. He won the EU tournament for the Fear Fest. Fear Fest 2, he won in spectacular fashion. He didn't take KV1 down. That was around the time that KV1 was just popping off. Especially in those crossover matchups, KV1 just farmed all of EU because they weren't quite used to the 100 ping, and KV1 was a monster on it. But the EU portion, Joreuz won. So I'm trying to think, what's the biggest EU tournament that Joreuz has played in that he didn't win? Like, is he starting to get to like first killer NA levels, or are there some tournaments that I'm not remembering? The craziest part is he even won Just Win. The best of one, it's like 32 teams or whatever, and it was single games. It was like an insane tournament, basically built to finally have a top player not win. like a chance for somebody to just pop off and show that they're good, you know, enough to squeeze out some low series games wins, and still Jory's won. Fusion, you got reverse swept. Ah, okay. Jory is Jack. Wait. Oh, but that must have been before the grand final. This is like Jack won Fusion? But no, oKhaliD won Fusion, right? Or did Fairy Peak win Fusion? Am I crazy? That was Fairy Peak oKhaliD. That was Be Careful, right? Yeah. Yeah, that was the Be Careful game. Sorry to anybody who is maybe watching on YouTube or watching right now who wants intense commentary. Hopefully you've been enjoying the content that we've had over the past few days, and maybe you understand why I almost feel necessary that I relax a little bit and don't go hardcore commentating. I wanted to mention this. Last night, as I was falling asleep, no joke, and I realized about 5 or 10 minutes after I was doing this, I was commentating a fake game in my head. I like, my brain running on idle was like talking about the back and forth of an imaginary 1v1 game. And I was like, dude, this is too much. Like, this is too much. I'm just very stressed out about it all. And like, as I couldn't fall asleep, I was commentating a game, which luckily I was able to recognize that was ridiculous and turn it off. Like, you guys remember the tweet by Sosa where he's like, "You guys ever feel like you can close your eyes and imagine an entire match in your head?" I was doing that. I ran the Mawkzy oKhaliD match last night, and I even commentated the whole thing. I forget who was playing. It was definitely a Fennec was playing in my show match I was accidentally casting in my head. Look at the shot. But I don't know if I knew who the players were. It was like right before I was falling asleep. You're taking a content creation to a whole new level. Yo, Special K with, I think, the first VIP redemption since it's been 250K. That is a serious VIP redemption, homie. Great to have you back. You were VIP before, right? You must have been, since you're sitting on that many points. Dude, Special K. Everybody, Drake's in chat for Special K, who is an elite homie. oKhaliD trying his best to tie up this series. Yo, Tofu Wave, thank you for the brand new Prime. Mawkzy can't find top left. Feer confessing his schizophrenia. No, yesterday was the insane day. I knew it would be. We woke up and we did the qualifiers for this, for EU. Then we did the EU Pro Drops. I had one last game for that. Then we did the Grand Finals for North America. 3 different streams, commentating basically all day, and it just was a ton. It's fun though. If oKhaliD wins the series, you'll donate your life savings. I almost feel like I'm obligated to root for oKhaliD now. Of course, I guess I don't know what your life savings are. Yeah, and also, I think you guys see that Musty event that's happening this weekend? Musty and I think Sunless is in it. It's like NRG and Musty are combining to do. I'm going to commentate that too. I'm commentating that as well. And I think I might have even heard about another event that I might help commentate, but I'm going hardcore. And then we'll be done. And then we're just... Then that's it. It'll just be end of Feer. For, who knows, a full year. We'll be nice and fully booked up. Who do you think is the best ones player? Like I told somebody yesterday when they asked, let's wait. Let's wait for the 2 tournaments to end, and then, you know, maybe we could even, if we really want to wait, we should wait until after the cross-regional one, because I feel like that's almost going to do a good job of getting us the answer. The problem is that if you had asked before the tournament, you know, who are the 1-2 that we want to play, at the major, I think, unfortunately, people might have said TRK Yan, which both of them are not playing. So they're making sure that the question marks remain as time goes on here. But you have to feel good about Daniel's argument, Jack's argument, and Jore's argument. Which, when you think about it, you know how long those guys have just been the top 3 or 4? People have been saying it forever, and it turns out they still are, as they have won the 3 most recent tournaments. If we get oKhaliD to win this one or something, it's just like oKhaliD, Jore's, Jack, Daniel. Like, has time frozen from a year ago? How are these guys still the top 4? But first, oKhaliD has to go through Mawkzy. He is going to get at least 1 game win here. And he's got to win the next one, too, if he wants to head to the 2-0 round. Game 3, Mawkzy and oKhaliD. Winner moves on to 2-0. Loser has to go down to the 1-1 round. See if they can handle the rest of the bottom 8. Thank you for the Prime, Plank H-Bar. And do I cast RLCS? I do not. Do not cast RLCS. It might be Daniel since he adopted the bot Fennec meta recently. Pretty scary looking. Tabs McNabs, were you there yesterday? Might I ask? Not to say that you aren't wrong. And not to say that a good fight was put up, but I don't think you could say it for sure. Can you show oKhaliD ping real quick? Everybody's always very interested in seeing the Middle East players ping. I'll be honest, I'm not super interested. 72, because I'm so used to them playing EU. Whether that number says 72 or whether it says 90, I feel like it almost doesn't change the way those Middle East players play, so. You saw it on Johnny's stream? Yeah, no. Daniel, you're right. Daniel the bot Fennec. I was asking if you saw the end of the tournament that I ran yesterday, in which Daniel finished in the semis. So while he still may be the best player, he wasn't last night. Daniel threw bad sportsmanship? No. Jack stole. I don't think that's bad sportsmanship. I mean, Daniel was getting tilted, no doubt. But you don't just get tilted while dominating the game. You get tilted because somebody's starting to beat you. Who was he playing last night? You can do exclamation point fall 5K and you can see everything if you want it spoiled. I almost... I can't help but suggest that YouTube, too, is a good place to check it out when it comes out. Probably sometime within a week as we slowly release the games. So you can watch it all. Yeah, but I mean that was frustration. I don't think it's tough. Throwing to me, it's the problem with saying throwing is that people have started to use throwing to mean like making mistakes, right? And like messing up when you needed to. You were close to winning, and you choked, which I guess is true. But I mean, really, throwing is like. I mean, I guess it's used in team games more often, right? You legitimately try to lose the game for your team, right? Like, that's actually what throwing is. And people, as a way to exaggerate, have been starting to say people who choked their game were throwing, as like they played so bad, they must have been trying to intentionally lose, which, I mean, wasn't the case. It's just he got tilted enough to not play his best, I would say. Throwing is... yeah, exactly. Throwing is dominating the Batmobile and then not using it again, right? The only explanation for that is that he must want to lose because he destroyed in one car and then for the final game, switched off of it. And to me, that's closer to throwing. What's the star next to your name? Wait, what? I'm confused. Are you talking about like putting the championship star on like jerseys or whatever when people win championships? Happens when it's not fully loaded? Or are you... I don't see a star next to your name. I see a sub badge and I see the partner badge. Or is the star... You know there's a star when you go to a channel and it doesn't have sub badges, the default is a star. So maybe you're seeing like a default sub badge for some reason. Yeah, it looks like that's what chat thinks as well. Sub badge default. Dude, Cal, look at that shot. Mawkzy went off to an early start here in this game, trying to put away oKhaliD. oKhaliD's not easy to put away. Whew! See, I just thought Jack was coming in and being like, "Oh, what's this? What's this star on my badge?" You know, when teams win championships and they add stars for each one they won. I thought Jack was just coming in to flex. He's like, "Oh, anybody notice this star here on my name?" This is a great flake by Mawkzy, but 112 km/h. That's filthy. oKhaliD's gonna get a good possession here. Mawkzy forced to back off. Good recovery from him. Is the angle there for oKhaliD? No. Long shot for Mawkzy, so it's gonna be 6-3. Oh my flick indeed. He's gonna slow bounce it. Waste a little bit extra time. You're making a mockery of the NA scene. Come on, chat. Everybody played well. GG's, Jack, but you're blocked. We'll see. You guys, are we going to get just the most classic grand final? Or Jack Joy is again in the crossover. Always a region contest instead of a player contest? Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a bummer. You know it's going to happen. When any of the big tournaments, it always does. But it's just like, can we just talk about, you know, how, like, First Killer and Daniel played great, too. Like, the players all played well. Jack played the best. I mean, I mentioned at the end of my stream, you know, it's like a win for Jack's a win for everybody, man. Not to say that a win for anybody else wouldn't have been, but definitely for One's fans. Only way casuals can feel included. Well, you could pick a player. You could pick a player. You don't have to just pick a region. oKhaliD screaming a shot, and Mawkzy booming it off the wall as a save. Forced to do so because of the speed, most likely. oKhaliD comeback. Yeah, it's more than possible. You won by a game in each series and got bopped in the previous one's tourney. You know, it's interesting because I'm sure if Pro Drops ran after, it sucks for the people who won Pro Drops for both EU and NA, I guess, because the memory of the community is as short as whoever won the most recent tournament. So it's like, we run the fall 5K for NA, and it's like, yep, I know that Daniel won that tournament recently, but he'll never win it again. From here on out, until another tournament is seen, Jack would win them all. Zhao V2K, thank you for the prime. Mawkzy, it looks like he's going to be able to hold off oKhaliD here in the next 15 seconds. Ooh. I'm good at this. I'm good at the commentator jinx to give us a bit of better content. 9 seconds. oKhaliD in the clutch. Talked yesterday about players unaffected by the moment, unaffected by the score. oKhaliD is definitely a great example of that. But right now he's got to find a way to score, and instead of getting possession, it's Mawkzy who scores instantly. Photrop, if you don't understand that what you just said is like, is you admitting that you're part of the problem. In fact, not even that you're part of the problem, that you might be one of the worst contributors to the problem. I don't understand. Said, that's why no one likes people from NA. You people always think you're the best when you suck. Delusional population. I'm sure that will help end the rivalry, right? That comment surely is helping us end the rivalry. Like, oh my goodness. All right. Mawkzy moves on. Chat. Sorry I didn't give that one the full commentating business, but we'll be back in a moment for the next round of the Swiss. See you guys shortly.